I guess I really don't know what Christmas is all about.
The holiday season is upon us, and you want to buy a great gift for someone special in your life. This means getting a few of the best sellers off of Amazon, right? Wrong! Buying a video game can be a complicated matter, but today I'll show you exactly how. This video is intended for people with little to no experience. Shopping for a video game can be complicated just because there's so many different things to get wrong. For example, you might buy a game they already have, or for a system they don't own, or just a game they don't want. You really don't want to get any of these wrong, because in the best case scenario, they'll be bored with what you bought, and in the worst case scenario, they won't be able to play the game at all. So before you buy anything, we're going to have to get some background information on them. Now if you're trying to make this a surprise, it's going to get really tricky, but I think you can do it. You just got to hang in there. For this guide, I'm going to assume you want to surprise them, so everything's going to be, covert operation, sneak in, do what you need to do, get out. The first thing you need to do is find out what games they already have. This will require you finding their game collection and taking a photo of it. A good one from the side is really all you need. While you're at it, find out what platforms they have. Knowing what platform they have is important because not every game can be played on every platform. Some games are exclusive to certain platforms. For example, Mario can only be played on Nintendo platforms for the most part. Finding out what platform they have can be done by following the cables from their TV or monitor and seeing where they lead to. Identifying somebody's personal computer is not too difficult. They can be custom built and have different forms, but they usually look like this, this, or even this. Identifying consoles, on the other hand, are a lot easier because they usually come in either one or two forms. The most popular consoles this holiday season is the Nintendo Switch, which looks like this, the PlayStation 4, and the Xbox One X. Next, you're going to have to find out what genre of games they like. If you're in a situation where you can't ask, I recommend going for it, but if you're trying to keep it super secretive, I recommend you hopping over to Google and type in the full name of the game plus the word genre. For an example, I'll be looking up the popular game Horizon Zero Dawn, an excellent game for the PlayStation 4. Usually the first thing you'll get is the genre in big bold letters. If for any reason it doesn't pop up, search for the game on wikipedia.org. Important links can be found in the description of this video below. Most popular games will have a Wikipedia article associated with it that will list what genre it is, along with other things like its rating. You'll find this to the right side of the Wikipedia page, right here. Do this with each game in their collection until you find a pattern. I've done this with my own personal collection and found out that I like a lot of platforming games. Next, head over to the popular website Metacritic.com. Up at the top, you'll see movies, games, TV, and so on. Hover your mouse over games, but don't click on it. It should show a drop-down menu. Find the system you're going to buy for. In this example, I'm clicking on Switch. Scroll down until you see Top Switch Games. Just to the right of that will be Browse by Genre. Click on whatever genre you found most common in their game collection. Continuing with our example, I'll click on Action. On the next page, under Switch Action Games, you'll see 4 tabs: by date, by Metascore, by user score, and by name. You can click on either by Metascore or by user score. The Metascore will rank games by well-established critics. The user score, however, will rank games by any random person who decides to leave a review on it. I tend to find that the Metascore is better when there's not a whole lot of user scores, but when there's a lot of user scores, I tend to find that they're much better. Defining what a lot means is up to you. For example, if a game has a Metascore by only a few critics and a so-so user score from a lot of critics, then I would go with the user score. Side note, I don't know why they do this, but Metascores are out of 100 and user scores are out of 10. I think it just adds to confusion. So if you want to have them both on the same plane, just multiply the user score by 10 and that'll make everything easy. At this point, you can start actually deciding on what game you want to get for them. I recommend just starting from the top of the list and working your way down. So for an example, if they don't have the #1 highest scoring game, that would be an excellent game to get for them. And remember, make sure you check your list of games they already have so you're not getting a game they already have, because you don't want that. That's very important. After you do this, it's time to actually buy the game. This will depend on what systems they have. If you're buying for a console, that is Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, or Xbox One X, then you can go ahead and buy a physical copy of the game in a store Or if you're like me and you don't like crowds, you can go to Amazon.com and purchase them there. I've made links to the 10 most popular games for each system as of November 2017. Buying from these links will help support my YouTube channel. I'll assume you already know how to purchase items off of Amazon, so if you're buying for a console, this is the end of the video. You can skip over the rest of it. The rest of it is just about how to buy games for people who own PCs. Bye! So this next part is for PC game buying only. If you're buying for a PC, it's going to get a little bit more tricky. First, find out if they have Steam on their computer. Steam is a popular online store to buy games. There are other online stores too. You'll need to find out which ones they use. Simply ask them a question like, what's Steam? Have you ever heard of Steam? That'll get them talking about it, and if they use it, they'll most likely say they do. But if they don't use it, they'll most likely tell you which ones they do use. So listen up for stores such as GOG.com or Twitch.io. Pretty much everybody uses Steam, so that's really all you have to worry about. But just be on the lookout if they don't. This guide would get really lengthy if I tried to explain how to purchase a game on every online store. So for this guide, I'm just going to be showing you how to purchase games on Steam. Other online stores should operate very similar. They should all have a search bar on their homepage that will lead you to the game you're looking for, where you can see a buy button, and then you can follow the instructions on the checkout page. Try your best to get their username. You can do this by asking them to help you set up an account, and yes, you're going to need an account, and then ask them to be your friend on Steam. This might be a little tricky because some people are really sensitive about giving out that kind of information, especially to relatives. Some people just don't want you to know what their username is. I would try to do all this months before you decide to buy a game for them, just so by the time Christmas comes around, they're already, it's already like out of their mind and they're not thinking about it. The reason you want to find their username is because when you go to gift them a game on Steam, you're going to need to know their username so Steam knows who to send it to. You can find a link for this in the description. If you get a chance, try to find out what their profile picture looks like. The default image is a question mark, but they may have changed it to anything. You'll be glad to have this information later. After you create a Steam account, you're going to have to add them as a friend. Go to the home page by clicking on the big Steam logo at the top left-hand corner of any page. From the home page, hover over your username and click on Friends from the drop-down menu that pops up. Then on the far right, click on Add Friends and search for their username. Find their name from this list. More than one account can have the same username, so that's why it's important to know what their profile picture looks like. Once you find it, click on Add as Friend. You'll have to wait until they accept your invite before you can buy them games as a gift. While you're waiting for them to wonder why you made a Steam account, you can search for games in the upper right-hand corner of the homepage. Just start typing the name of the game and some links underneath it should appear. You don't need to type it all out. Just click on it as soon as it appears and it'll take you to the store page for that particular game. When you've reached the store page, you can read reviews, watch gameplay footage, and see what the system requirements are. System requirements are important because if their computer is too slow, they won't be able to play certain games. This is very technical and outside the scope of this video, but the basic idea is that you want to find out what kind of hardware they have in their computer and then compare it to the hardware requirements of the game listed in the system requirements. Now, you might not be interested in playing games yourself, but this is a good time to decide if you think this is a game they'll like playing and that you would be okay with them playing. Check to make sure the game is not too violent and that you would be okay with them playing something like that. And this is a good time to make sure it's just something that they would like to play. I recommend picking out a few games and then going back over it and deciding on which ones you want to buy for sure. You can add them to your shopping cart and always remove them later. When you're ready to check out, click on the cart button located above the search bar. It only appears after you have added something to your cart. Here you'll see a list of games you've added to your cart and the price for each game. Under the price, you can remove them if needed. At the bottom of the list, you'll see your subtotal and two big green buttons. Click on the one labeled Purchased as a Gift. By now, hopefully they have accepted your friend request. If so, their name should pop up in the list on the next page. Click on their name and hit Continue. On the next screen, you can add a personal message. You must keep it to 160 characters or fewer. Fill out all of the boxes here and click Continue. On the next screen, add your payment information. I've already added mine, so it skips to the review and purchase screen automatically. On this screen, make sure all your details are correct and then click on the checkbox saying you agree to the terms, and finally click Purchase. So to recap, find out what platforms they use, what games they have, what games they like, and the best games that match that criteria. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this guide. Remember to check the description at the bottom of this video for more information. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and hit that like button. Thanks, and I'll see you later.
I can tell you what Christmas is all about.
chestnuts roasting, Jack Frost nipping at your nose.